Everyone knows the headline lottery stories. Someone hits it big and then loses it all. But what about the winners who didn't blow through their fortune? The ones who stayed rich, invested wisely, built businesses, and turned luck into long-term financial security? In today's video, we're breaking down 7 real lottery winners who managed to preserve and grow their winnings. And exactly how they did it. No hype, no myths, no guesswork. Just verified outcomes backed by records and documented behavior. If you're into real stories of sudden fortune, wealth, and what happens after luck strikes, you're in the right place. Before we get started, if you want more videos like this, hit subscribe and ring the bell icon on When Luck Strikes. Now let's dive in. 1. Timothy Schultz, Iowa, USA. 1. $28 million. Powerball, 1999. In 1999, Timothy Schultz was just 21 years old, working at a gas station in Iowa, when he won a $28 million Powerball jackpot. At that age, with that amount of money, Schultz was statistically one of the most likely profiles to lose everything. But that didn't happen. Instead, Schultz became one of the clearest documented examples of a lottery winner who stayed wealthy by doing something very specific, very early. Before he ever claimed his prize, Schultz contacted financial and legal professionals, built a formal wealth management team, and took the lump sum option to gain immediate control of the capital. This step alone separated him from countless winners who waited until after the money arrived to seek advice. How he invested the money. Schultz did not chase businesses, franchises, or flashy investments. Instead, he focused on capital preservation and steady growth. According to multiple interviews, he invested the majority of his winnings into diversified conservative portfolios, allocated funds across stocks, bonds, and long-term financial instruments, avoided speculative ventures and high-risk businesses, paid off debts, and structured his lifestyle for sustainability, not excess. In his own words, Schultz has said that winning the lottery doesn't make you smart. It just gives you money faster than you're ready for. So he chose caution over excitement. Decades later, Schultz remains financially secure. He has publicly stated that he still lives within means. He does not spend recklessly. He credits professional guidance, not luck, for keeping his wealth intact. His story is important because it proves something uncomfortable but true. Staying rich after the lottery requires boring decisions made early and consistently. And for many winners, that's the hardest part. 2. Brad Duke, Idaho, USA. 1. $220 million Powerball. Brad Duke worked in management for a Treasure Valley Gold's Gym and was passionate about his career path in the field. In 2005, he hit the $220 million Powerball jackpot, and instead of disappearing or overspending, he made his intentions clear almost immediately. He continued his passion of teaching spin class twice a week on some level for well over a year. He also invested heavily in fitness businesses, expanded Synergy Fitness Group, and created structured charitable initiatives focused on youth athletics. Duke publicly stated he didn't want the money to ruin his life, so he treated it as growth capital, not consumption money. Rather than buying dozens of luxury items, he focused on businesses with cash flow. Causes he could manage actively, long-term purpose tied to the wealth. Years later, Duke remained financially stable and operationally involved. 3. Gil and Jackie Cisneros, California, USA. 1. $266 million Mega Millions. In 2010, Gilbert Gil Cisneros and his wife Jackie Cisneros won a $266 million Mega Millions jackpot in California, one of the largest lottery prizes in the state's history. At the time, Gil had recently been laid off from his job as a manufacturing manager, and Jackie was working night shifts as a television news assignment editor. Rather than treating the win as a ticket to luxury alone, the couple made deliberate financial and philanthropic choices that shaped their long-term financial health and legacy. Before making big purchases, they created the Gilbert and Jackie Cisneros Foundation, using a multi-million-dollar endowment from their winnings to fund education and leadership programs, especially for Latino youth. They launched major scholarship initiatives, including the Cisneros Hispanic Leadership Institute at George Washington University, Gil's alma mater, designed to prepare students for academic success and leadership roles. Scholarships at the University of Southern California for Latino students to reduce financial barriers to higher education. A $1 million endowed scholarship at USC's Annenberg School for Communication students, targeting diversity and financial need. Their foundation's mission focuses on access to higher education, leadership development, and building sustainable support systems for first-generation college students. Not just one-off gifts. Unlike many winners who spiral into spending, Gil and Jackie used professional financial and legal advisors to structure their wealth and approved every significant expenditure with guidance from a business manager, even years after their win. They also balanced modest personal enjoyment with disciplined financial oversight. Yes, they enjoy some comforts, like season tickets, family travel, and paying off relatives' mortgage, yeah? But those are carefully budgeted, not reckless. Jackie still chooses everyday clothing from mainstream stores and drives a Honda Odyssey, not a fleet of luxury cars, illustrating their grounded approach to daily life. Gil's trajectory after the win, including serving in the U.S. House of Representatives and as a Pentagon undersecretary, reflects a continuity of public service and mission-oriented use of wealth rather than personal excess. 4. John and Lisa Robinson, Georgia and USA. 1. $327.8 million Powerball. In January 2016, John and Lisa Robinson of Munford, Tennessee became part of history as one of the 3 winners to share a record-setting $1.6 billion Powerball jackpot, then the largest lottery prize in U.S. history. Their portion of the prize, $528.8 million annuity, was converted into a lump sum cash payout of approximately $327.8 million after taxes and payout choice. Unlike so many big winners who spend the windfall impulsively or announce extravagant plans, the Robinsons approached their newfound wealth with calm, practical restraint from the beginning. Before the jackpot, John Robinson worked as a warehouse supervisor, and Lisa worked in a dermatology clinic. Everyday middle-class jobs in the small town of Munford, near Memphis. They lived in a modest, single-family home, drove regular cars, and had financial responsibilities like most Americans. Nothing suggested a life of billion-dollar fortune. Almost immediately after their win, the Robinsons made choices that set them apart. 1. They took the lump sum cash option. Instead of the 30-year annuity, they opted for the immediate lump sum. John explained their reasoning. We're not guaranteed tomorrow. That decision gave them complete agency over how the funds would be used, invested, and protected from tax complexities and potential future legal entanglements. 2. They assembled financial and legal advisors before spending. Before cashing in the check, John and Lisa worked with a team of professionals, lawyers, accountants, and financial planners, to create a wealth strategy rather than diving into purchases. 3. They stayed rooted in their community. Instead of relocating to a luxury enclave or selling their home immediately, the couple chose to stay in Munford. They planned to pay off their mortgage, support their daughter's student loans, continue working at their jobs early on because they valued routine and identity over sudden lifestyle change. John said, "That's what we've done all our lives. You can't just sit down and do nothing." His perspective highlights a choice that helped anchor their long-term trajectory. 4. They emphasized privacy and boundaries. Right after claiming the prize, they asked for no trespassing signs on their property to protect their privacy and safety as news spread throughout the town. They also declined public social media giveaways or flashy spending and warned the public about scams falsely claiming to be from them, demonstrating they kept firm boundaries around their information and access. 5. Jason Fry, Florida, USA. 1. $47 million Florida Lotto, 2007. In late 2007, Jason Fry, a Fort Myers resident who was working multiple jobs and facing financial hardship, hit the lottery in the Florida Lotto for a $47 million jackpot. When the cash option was paid out, Fry walked away with a $13.6 million lump sum after taxes. A life-changing amount, but far from a $40 million spend-it-and-forget-it figure. Unlike many winners who instantly spend until the money runs dry, Fry's story evolved. And that evolution shows what happened when a winner turned his prize into long-term economic activity. At first, Fry did what many winners do. Bought a new Cadillac Escalade, purchased a Shelby Mustang. Bought a boat, took friends to a football game with premium tickets, and even chartered a limo. He enjoyed the spoils initially, but that didn't last forever. He openly admitted that after a period of playing like a millionaire, he got bored with purely recreational spending and wanted to build something that would last. Here's what Fry did that shifted his win from a windfall to a long-term asset base. 1. Bought a Batteries Plus franchise, 2009. Jason's research into stable, recession-resistant business models led him to Batteries Plus, a retail franchise serving ongoing consumer needs from car batteries to smartphone repairs. He bought an existing store in Fort Myers for roughly $1 million. Within a few years, that single store became one of the top-performing locations in the entire Batteries Plus chain. 2. Expanded to multiple franchise locations. Fry didn't stop at one location. He acquired franchise rights and opened 3 additional Batteries Plus stores in Bonita Springs, Cape Coral, and Naples. These stores have each generated significant annual revenue, with Fry projecting that each could exceed $1 million in yearly sales. Instead of spending his jackpot, he used it as business capital. 3. Golf driving range investment. Jason also invested in a passion-aligned business. He purchased the Golf World 2 driving range in Fort Myers with a business partner, using lottery-funded capital to get into the golf entertainment space. That range, as reported, generates about $300,000 a year in revenue, and has even led him to acquire 30 acres on Alico Road, with plans for a bigger fun park-style facility, including batting cages, bumper boats, and more. This wasn't speculative, it was revenue-producing real estate and business ownership. 6. Francis and Patrick Connolly, Northern Ireland, UK. 1. £114.97 million. Euro Millions, 2019. In January 2019, Frances Connolly and her husband Patrick Connolly of Northern Ireland won an enormous £114.97 million Euro Millions jackpot, one of the largest UK lottery prizes ever recorded, and the largest for an individual Northern Irish ticket. Before their win, Frances worked as an online magazine editor for the voluntary sector, and Patrick was a businessman in manufacturing, successful in his career but far from multimillionaire status. Their lottery victory didn't change who they were. It changed what they could do with their values intact. In the hours and days following the win, the couple took a deliberate approach. They worked together to compile a list of about 50 family members and friends to help with meaningful gifts instead of impulsive giveaways. They took time to think before spending, resisting pressure to splurge immediately, and grounded their planning in what mattered most to them. Rather than buying dozens of luxury items right away, Frances joked in an interview that her first real purchase with her new wealth was a pair of everyday knickers, a lighthearted symbol of grounded perspective after the win. The Connollys' post-win strategies were rooted in purpose-driven deployment rather than consumption. 1. Significant philanthropy and family support. By 2020, reports indicated the Connollys had given away roughly half of their winnings, around 66 million euros, to family, friends, charities, and community causes. They helped multiple relatives buy homes, provided direct financial assistance to loved ones, and made large charitable distributions. 2. Foundation creation. They set up multiple structured charitable vehicles, the PFC Trust in County Durham, England, to support community development and local initiatives, and the Kathleen Graham Trust in Northern Ireland, named after Frances's late mother, focusing on charitable support in local communities. These foundations weren't vanity arms. They are organized entities designed to deliver sustained impact rather than sporadic handouts. Unlike many winners who radically change everything overnight, the Connollys have shown restraint. They live in a 5-bedroom home in County Durham with grounds and a pool, not a remote luxury estate. Patrick continued working in manufacturing, running several plastics factories, emphasizing normalcy and routine despite the windfall. Their largest personal indulgence beyond essentials was purchasing a new Jaguar, having previously owned only second-hand cars. Francis has openly talked about how the experience didn't change who they were as people, emphasizing identity over spectacle, and that the money was simply a tool to help others on a larger scale. 7. Edwin Castro. In November 2022, Edwin Castro became the sole winner of the $2.04 billion Powerball jackpot, the largest lottery prize in U.S. history. Castro purchased the winning ticket at Joe's Service Center in Altadena, California, and later chose the lump sum cash option, reported at approximately $997.6 million before taxes, with an estimated $628 million after federal taxes due to California's no state tax on lottery winnings policy. Unlike many winners who disappear entirely or rush into public consumption, Castro's post-win actions have been unusually well documented. Where the money went, public property records show that Castro quickly deployed a portion of his winnings into high-value real estate, including a Hollywood Hills mansion valued at over $25 million, a large Altadena property near his hometown. Additional residential properties purchased outright without financing. What's notable is that these were cash purchases, eliminating debt exposure and interest risk from the start. Investment versus indulgence. While some of these purchases were clearly luxury residences, Castro also made strategic property acquisitions that suggest long-term planning rather than pure consumption. According to multiple reports, Castro purchased adjacent lots in Altadena with the stated intention of building homes, selling them to families, supporting community rebuilding efforts following wildfire damage. This signals a key difference in behavior. Instead of treating his winnings as unlimited spending power, Castro treated them as deployable capital, allocating money into tangible, appreciating assets with resale value. It's still early in Castro's post-win timeline, and it would be premature to label him a long-term success story. However, what is documented sets him apart from many cautionary cases. He chose immediate control via lump sum. He avoided leverage and debt. He invested heavily in real assets. He made purchases aligned with geographic familiarity rather than impulse relocation. Castro didn't attempt to turn his wealth into spectacle. He turned it into ownership. And that distinction, ownership over consumption, is one of the most consistent patterns among lottery winners who preserve wealth. Hitting a life-changing jackpot is one thing. Keeping it and making it grow is another. Across these 7 winners who preserved and grew their wealth, the same principles repeat: professional financial planning. Before spending, investing in diversified assets or revenue-generating businesses. Maintaining privacy and avoiding social pressure. Using winnings as capital, not just disposable cash. The winners we've covered treated their windfalls with strategy, patience, and intentional investment choices. What would you do with your winnings if you hit the jackpot? Let us know in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe for more deep dives into what happens when luck strikes.